The Toyota Land Cruiser is back for 2026, and the hype is real. With its retro-inspired styling, modern tech, and a brand-new hybrid powertrain, Toyota is promising a Land Cruiser that's more efficient, more refined, and more accessible than ever before. But here's the part they don't highlight. This new version isn't the same bulletproof, go-anywhere beast many people remember. And depending on what you expect from a Land Cruiser, you might be in for a few surprises. Because beneath the fresh design and the big marketing push, the 2026 Land Cruiser brings some noticeable compromises, from capability changes to interior space limits, pricing decisions, and real-world performance differences. Some of these trade-offs make sense for today's market, but others might leave longtime Land Cruiser fans disappointed. So before you fall for the rugged looks or the legendary badge, let's take a closer, more honest look at what this SUV actually offers. In this video, we're breaking down 8 real reasons why the 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser might not be the right choice for you. Whether you're considering it for off-roading, daily use, family travel, or long-term reliability, this is the breakdown you need before making a decision. This is Parth, and you are watching MotorNation. Before we jump into today's video, here's something every true car enthusiast will love: our official website, MotorNationGroup.com. It's your go-to destination for everything automotive, from the latest car launches and industry news to detailed reviews, performance breakdowns, comparisons, buyer guides, and even insights into future tech shaping the next generation of vehicles. Join the MotorNation community, where passion meets performance and the drive never stops. Starting with the first reason, and it's a big one for families, the 2026 Land Cruiser is only a 5-seater. Unlike the older generations that offered third-row seating, the new US spec Land Cruiser comes strictly as a 2-row SUV. That means no option for 7 or 8 passengers, no fold-flat third row, and no flexibility if your family grows or you regularly travel with more people. And in today's market, that's a real drawback. Because while the Land Cruiser sticks to a more compact, rugged design, its competitors are giving buyers a lot more room to work with. SUVs like the Toyota Grand Highlander, Honda Pilot, Ford Expedition, and even some mid-size crossovers offer true 3-row configurations with far more passenger space and cargo versatility. So if you're looking for a vehicle that can handle off-roading but also carry a big family, the 2026 Land Cruiser just won't meet that need. It's comfortable, yes, but strictly for 5. And for many buyers, that limitation alone could push them toward a more family-friendly alternative. Moving on to the second reason, the 2026 Land Cruiser's performance doesn't quite match the price tag. Toyota's hybrid turbo 4 under the hood produces a respectable 326 horsepower and 465 lb-ft of torque, which sounds strong, and for off-road crawling and low-speed grunt, it works. But in real-world driving, this translates into a 0 to 60 miles per hour time of about 8.0 seconds, which is noticeably slower than you'd expect for a vehicle in this price and capability bracket. In comparison, many similarly priced or similarly rugged SUVs hit 60 miles per hour in the 7 to 7.5 second range, or even quicker when they prioritize on-road performance. So when you're merging onto a freeway, overtaking with a full load of gear, or just trying to accelerate with confidence, the Land Cruiser feels more relaxed than eager. It's tuned for durability and capability, not outright speed. What this means for you: the Land Cruiser delivers the torque and traction for off-road dominance, but on highways and in everyday driving, the feel of acceleration is less dynamic than you might expect. At this price point, you're paying premium money, yet the Sprint feels slower than many rivals. That less lively sensation becomes a noticeable shortcoming, especially in a market where performance is expected even in rugged SUVs. So if performance on pavement matters, if you want strong acceleration and off-road chops, this moderate 0 to 60 time and on-road feel become a real reason to pause. Now let's move to the third reason, and it's a surprising one, especially for a hybrid. The fuel economy still isn't great. You'd think that with Toyota dropping the old V8 and bringing in a modern hybrid powertrain, the Land Cruiser would suddenly jump to top of this segment efficiency. But in reality, the difference isn't as dramatic as the word hybrid might suggest. Most owners and early testers are seeing real-world numbers around 20 to 22 miles per gallon combined, and that's in normal, mixed driving. And things get tougher once you start using the Land Cruiser the way it's meant to be used. Add passengers, load up weekend gear, attach a bike rack, or drive on gravel, snow, or mud, and the efficiency dips into the mid to high teens pretty quickly. Part of this comes down to physics. The Land Cruiser is still a heavy, boxy, body-on-frame SUV with full-time four-wheel drive and off-road hardware underneath. Those things add capability, but they also add weight and drag. So even though it's a hybrid, the Land Cruiser isn't built for sipping fuel. It's built for torque, durability, and low-speed control. And when you compare it to other 2026 hybrid SUVs, some of which are getting 25, 28, even 30-plus mpg, the Land Cruiser's numbers suddenly look underwhelming. Even mid-size SUVs with non-hybrid engines sometimes get similar real-world efficiency. For buyers expecting big fuel savings thanks to the hybrid badge, this can be a disappointment. Yes, it's better than the old V8 days, but compared to the market, the Land Cruiser's fuel economy lands squarely in the just okay zone. And at this price point, okay simply isn't enough. Moving on to the fourth reason. The pricing of the 2026 Land Cruiser is higher than many shoppers expect, and it rises fast once you start adding options. The new Land Cruiser returns with a starting price of around $58,000 for the base 1958 model. And while that number alone feels steep, the real surprise comes when you move into the mid and upper trims. The next trim level moves comfortably into the low $60,000 range before you add anything else. And once you start layering on popular packages, upgraded tech, premium interior touches, off-road equipment, towing upgrades, and convenience features, the total pushes in the mid $70,000s without much effort. And at that price point, expectations change. Once you're spending $70,000 or more, many buyers expect more horsepower under the hood, richer interior materials, more advanced comfort features, or the overall refinement you'd find in a more premium SUV. Instead, the Land Cruiser leans heavily into durability and off-road capability, which is great for adventure-focused buyers, but it means you're paying luxury-level money without fully getting a luxury-level feel. Inside, the cabin is functional and rugged, but not overly plush. On the road, performance is respectable, but not thrilling. And for some buyers, that disconnect between what you pay and what you feel day to day becomes noticeable. Even Toyota fans are surprised by how quickly the price escalates with just a few must-have options. So while the Land Cruiser absolutely delivers in reliability, heritage, and off-road strength, its pricing places it in a segment filled with vehicles that offer more luxury, more power, more features, or more seating. If you're expecting a premium experience to match a premium price, this is one area where the 2026 Land Cruiser may fall short. Now let's get into the fifth reason. The interior quality simply doesn't match the price tag. For an SUV that can easily touch $70,000 or more with options, you expect a cabin that feels upscale, polished, and premium the moment you step inside. But the 2026 Land Cruiser takes a very different approach. Instead of luxury materials and soft-touch finishes, Toyota has leaned heavily into a rugged, functional interior theme. And that means more hard plastics, simpler textures, and fewer premium details than many buyers expect at this price point. Sure, everything feels tough and built to last, and that's great for off-roading. But when you're paying luxury money, you want something that looks and feels like luxury too. And this is where the Land Cruiser starts to fall behind. The dash, door panels, center console, and even some touch points use materials that feel more utilitarian than premium. It's not bad, it's just not what $70,000 usually buys. This becomes especially noticeable when you compare it to rivals in the same range. The Lexus GX offers richer surfaces, more upscale design, and a cabin that looks genuinely high-end. Even the Jeep Grand Cherokee, depending on trim, brings more soft-touch materials, more styling flair, and a more premium overall vibe. So while the Land Cruiser's interior is durable and built for harsh use, it doesn't deliver the plushness, refinement, or attention to detail many buyers expect for the money. And if you're shopping in this price bracket wanting a luxury-like experience, you may feel that the Land Cruiser falls short inside, making this a very real reason to think twice. Next up, the sixth reason. The towing capacity is surprisingly limited for a body-on-frame SUV. The 2026 Land Cruiser may look tough and highly capable off-road, but when it comes to towing, its numbers fall short of what many buyers expect. Toyota rates the new Land Cruiser at 6,000 pounds of towing capacity. And while that's enough for small trailers, lightweight campers, and utility loads, it's noticeably low for an SUV built on a truck-style frame. This becomes even more obvious when you compare it to the competition. Many similarly rugged or full-size SUVs tow far more. Models like the Ford Expedition, Chevy Tahoe, and Nissan Armada regularly tow between 7,000 and 9,300 pounds depending on configuration. Even some mid-size pickup trucks outperform the Land Cruiser in towing strength, making it clear that Toyota prioritized off-road ability and hybrid efficiency over raw pulling power. For buyers who need an SUV that can confidently tow a boat, a large travel trailer, or heavier recreational equipment, the Land Cruiser's 6,000 pounds limit can feel restrictive. And at this price point, people often expect versatility, not just off-road capability, but real hauling muscle as well. So if towing is high on your priority list, the 2026 Land Cruiser may not offer the strength you're looking for, and that becomes a significant drawback for many potential buyers. Now on to the seventh reason. The on-road comfort just isn't class-leading. The 2026 Land Cruiser is engineered first and foremost for durability and off-road capability. And while that makes it incredibly tough on trails, it comes with compromises when you're simply cruising on highways or driving around town. The suspension is tuned to absorb rocks, ruts, and uneven terrain, not to glide effortlessly over paved roads. Road and tire noise are also more noticeable inside the cabin. At higher speeds, especially on rough asphalt or concrete, the Land Cruiser lets in more sound than vehicles like the Kia Telluride, Hyundai Palisade, or even Toyota's own Grand Highlander, all of which prioritize quietness and comfort over rugged capability. Those SUVs feel softer, quieter, and more relaxed on long highway trips, while the Land Cruiser always feels a bit more truck-like. It's not uncomfortable, but it's also not the plush, serene ride some buyers expect at this price point. If your daily driving is mostly commuting, long highway runs, or school drop-offs, you may find the Land Cruiser's on-road manners a little less refined than crossovers built specifically for comfort. And finally, the eighth reason. The Land Cruiser's small fuel tank seriously limits its driving range. For an SUV that's marketed as an adventure-ready, go-anywhere machine, the 2026 Land Cruiser comes with a surprisingly small 17.9-gallon fuel tank. And when you combine that with its real-world fuel economy, often sitting around 20 to 22 miles per gallon, your total driving range ends up much shorter than expected. Most owners will see somewhere between 300 and 340 miles on a full tank, and that's before adding passengers, gear, or heading off-road, where efficiency drops even further. This is a noticeable drawback for anyone planning long-distance travel, overlanding, or multi-day trips into remote areas. Rivals designed for long hauls including larger Toyota models, full-size SUVs, and mid-size trucks, often deliver far longer ranges thanks to bigger tanks and better highway fuel efficiency. In those vehicles, going 400 to 500 plus miles on a tank isn't unusual. But in the Land Cruiser, you'll be stopping for fuel more often than you'd expect from a rugged, adventure-focused SUV. And when you're far from towns or traveling long stretches between fuel stations, that shorter range becomes a real inconvenience. So while the Land Cruiser offers durability, capability, and hybrid efficiency on paper, its small tank and limited range hold it back from being the long-distance explorer many buyers want it to be. So after looking at all 8 reasons, it's clear that while the 2026 Toyota Land Cruiser brings back the heritage, the rugged looks, and the off-road credibility, it also comes with real compromises. The 2-row layout, moderate acceleration, and only average fuel economy make it less versatile than many buyers expect. The high pricing, simpler interior materials, and limited towing capacity place it against competitors that offer more luxury or more muscle for the money. And when you add in the on-road comfort trade-offs and the shorter driving range caused by that small fuel tank, the new Land Cruiser starts to feel more specialized than universal. Great for adventure enthusiasts, but not necessarily the perfect fit for families or daily commuters. It's still a capable, durable Toyota with a legendary name attached to it. But in 2026, the segment is packed with options that offer broader capability, better comfort, or stronger value, depending on what you need. Thanks for watching MotorNation. If this breakdown helped you out, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss our latest SUV reviews, comparisons, and automotive deep dives. This is MotorNation, signing off. Drive safe, choose smart, and I'll see you in the next video.